Hi guys, this is Elizabeth Farrar. I go by Eli. I am a recent graduate from UCO with my bachelor's in special education and a minor in psychology. I am a first year teacher. I started out in the public school systems, but I decided that teaching one-on-one was probably a better choice for me. I am a wife and a mom to two wonderful kids, a 7-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. Today I'd like to discuss Jesse and his data scores. After looking at his reading scores, um, I see that he is above the mean for his growth, which means that he is developing well and doing well in his work. Um, but his achievement is below the mean, so he is not achieving where we think that he should be achieving. Um, and looking at the instructional areas, I see that Jesse is struggling in critical reading and interpreting and evaluating text. What that looks like is right here. His biggest struggle is literary elements and devices, specifically the standard for setting. But he is ready to develop these skills. He can locate the details about a setting in a literary text. So in my work, that's what we would focus on until we can get him up a grade, because it's showing that he's doing about a second grade level. So in our lesson, what we would do is we would begin by watching a video on YouTube that breaks down what a setting is in a way that he can understand it. And my objective would be to have him evaluate and replicate the setting in a story. So for what we would do is, after he watched the video, we would have a little discussion and we would recap what we watched on the video, and I would make any clarifications of things that he might be struggling with in that concept. And then we would look at this image here. This is the Merchant of Venice image, and we would look at it and we would decide where we think it takes place. Does it take place in the US? Does it take place somewhere else? When does it take place? Is it happening now? Is it happening in the future, in the past? I would get this information from him, and we would talk about other images or other items in the image, and help him develop words for what he's seeing. That way he can identify these things and maybe help him later whenever he's reading something, he can visualize it. So after we looked at that image, we would go back and we would discuss what we saw in that image. What did we see? How could we put those things into words, and what could we expect later on? Maybe figuring out what that would look like in literature. And then to assess his knowledge of what we just talked about, I would have him draw a setting like what we saw. He would come up with it in his mind. He would have time, place, people, all that kind of stuff, and he would be able to explain to me what he's drawing, what he's seeing, and what he's expecting. This would be something that we would work on one-on-one, and I would hope that it would take about 25-30 minutes, because I don't want to spend too much time working on one thing, especially when attention may be low. That's it for that. Thank you so much for watching.